Hi, I'm Leslie Palma from Priests for Life with a pro-life news break. Pregnancy help centers in New York State won a battle in federal court today with a judge ruling against State Attorney General Letitia James's efforts to violate their First Amendment rights. Earlier this year, James filed a lawsuit in state court to try to prevent pregnancy help centers from sharing information on abortion pill reversal with their clients. In response, the National Institute of Family and Life Advocates, or NIFLA, and 4 pregnancy centers filed 2 lawsuits in federal district court that were the subject of a hearing last week in Buffalo, where the plaintiffs were seeking a preliminary injunction. This morning, the judge granted that injunction. Representatives from more than a dozen pregnancy help organizations, some 50 people in all, attended the August 15th hearing, where, according to Ann O'Connor, Vice President of Legal Services for NIFLA, the judge asked several insightful questions. She expected a decision in a few weeks, but received word just this morning that they had won the first round. James is expected to appeal, but the injunction will remain in effect as the appeal moves forward. Pregnancy centers in New York are protected, Tom Glessner, founder and president of NIFLA, told Priests for Life National Director Frank Pavone this morning. Abortion pill reversal has led to the birth of more than 5,000 healthy babies since it was developed in about 2005, but abortion advocates say it is unproven junk science. The protocol involves giving progesterone to women who have changed their minds after taking the first pill in a chemical abortion. The naturally occurring hormone blocks the action of mifepristone, allowing the baby to continue developing. This week in Ballot Amendments, Montana became the 9th state that will ask voters whether they think their state constitution includes a right to abortion. And in Arkansas, the state Supreme Court yesterday upheld the state's rejection of signatures on the petition seeking to get the amendment on the ballot there. The Arkansas Secretary of State said the pro-abortion group Arkansans for Limited Government did not properly submit documentation regarding the signature gatherers it hired. In a 4-3 ruling, the court said, "We find that the secretary correctly refused to count the signatures collected by paid canvassers because the sponsor failed to file the paid canvasser training certification." Most babies are protected from abortion in Arkansas and will remain so. Yesterday, Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders posted on X that she was proud to help build the first conservative Supreme Court majority in the state and that the court upheld the rule of law and with it the right to life. Meanwhile, in Nebraska, signature verification is still ongoing. Both pro-life and pro-abortion amendments could yet make it to the ballot. 7 of the 9 states that will have a ballot referendum are already abortion-friendly, but 2, South Dakota and Florida, have laws protecting most babies from abortion. If the amendments pass in those states, pro-life laws likely would be repealed. If you live in those states, please vote no. In another trial of pro-life activists, 6 people in Michigan, including an 89-year-old survivor of a communist concentration camp, have been found guilty of violating the Freedom of Access to Clinic Entrances Act and conspiracy against rights, in a case that began with an abortion business protest in Sterling Heights. Eva Edel, who was kept prisoner in a communist internment camp in her native Yugoslavia immediately after World War II, also was convicted, along with Heather Idoni, for a pro-life protest at a killing center in Saginaw, Michigan. Idoni has now been convicted in cases in Tennessee and Washington, D.C., and is serving a 2-year sentence for the D.C. protest. A sentencing date for the Michigan defendants has not yet been announced. And finally, the National Abortion Convention, also known as the Democratic National Convention, wrapped up last night with Kamala Harris lying about what President Trump would do if reelected. She said he would appoint a nationwide anti-abortion coordinator and start tracking women's miscarriages. Trump has said nothing about either of those things. Harris said that as president, she would sign any pro-abortion bill that made it to her desk. That was no surprise, as her speech was the culmination of a 4-day celebration of abortion, with a Planned Parenthood mobile van parked near the convention's Chicago venue, doling out free chemical abortion pills and offering free tacos to men willing to undergo a vasectomy on the spot. I'm sure you remember a time when the Democrats thought abortion should be safe, legal, and rare, but times have changed. Now they want abortion without limits, available on every street corner and paid for with our tax dollars. All elections have consequences, but November's presidential race is the most consequential one of my lifetime. Please vote pro-life. That's what's making news right now. Till next week, please remember, life is the only choice.